I'm Doug Mandel, and welcome back to my photography video series, Photography Under 10, where I interview a photographer about his or her work, or I should say one work that they've selected. And today I'm joined live from Paris with Veronica Mecchia. And Veronica, first off, welcome, and thank you so much for being here on a Saturday.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be your guest. Thank
Oh,
you.
you're welcome. You know, before we get started, Veronica, I wanted to just share with our viewers how I discovered, or I should say, learned about your work. And one of the reasons I wanted to share this story is because it shows people who are new to photography, or at least new to collecting photography or appreciating photography, how accessible work can be. In that I learned of your work when I was strolling through the 6th arrondissement in the evening the last time I was in Paris, which was in November for Paris Photo. And you had rented a very small gallery for, I think, 3 days to highlight your work. How did you come upon that gallery? I mean, I think only 2 people could probably fit in it at the same time, but it was perfect for your work.
Yes, yes, because my prints are not so big. It's my choice. And so it's true that the gallery is really small, maybe one of the smallest in the street in Rue de Seine. And I felt really like it was the perfect place to show my work because it's more intimate. You can say it.
Yes. I remember seeing your work. It's all black and white photography, and it's gorgeous work. I actually first went to your gallery by myself. The next day, a good friend of mine, Hans Peter, saw, or we went to walk through together, and I showed him your work too. He also loved it. And the other thing I just wanted to share with our viewers is, in addition to your work of photographs, you had beautiful handmade, each page literally made by you, of these photography books. And this was the one that I purchased. And it's so rare. I mean, photography books are something that are collected by themselves as well as photographs by collectors. This work is beautiful, where you've put in each photograph yourself
Yeah.
into the books, and they
Thank
were just beautiful. So I have it with me as we're talking. And one of those photographs was in this book, and that's what we're talking about today. Why don't we put up the photograph and you can share a little bit about it?
you.
Um, I'm gonna find it right now. Okay. Okay. So, Veronica, tell us about this photograph. What are we seeing here?
Yes, so this photograph is one of my first series called Vanitas, and I named it after the painting tradition, especially the still life of the 17th centuries in Europe. In these paintings, you know, you can see a lot of elements like flowers, fruit, or also sometimes musical instruments, and often human skulls. And they are all symbols of death and all symbols of the ephemeral nature of all things, of life. So when I started this series called Vanitas, it was in 2005. And I was really sensitive about the transitory nature of all things. And so I wanted to express my feelings about it. So I started these Vanitas photos. And over the years, my feelings changed. And so I wanted more celebrate the impermanence of all things. So it was, in a way, a less melancholic way to represent this transitory nature of all things, of our life too. And so these photos, to come to our photos, sorry, is for now, is the last of this series. It was taken in Paris, in Montparnasse, in 2017. So it's the last one. And so you can see the flowers, the most important subject. And I insert flowers in my Vanitas photo always. in my Vanitas photos. And often there are flowers that somebody gave to me. So it's like an homage to this person,
Hmm.
and also an homage to the short and beautiful life of the flowers, because I know that they don't last forever. And another element I liked when I took this photo was the light. It was a very beautiful and strong light. It was in December, so in Paris it's not so sunny usually. And so there was this beautiful light coming in the room on the flowers. And another element you can see is the mirror. So I really like mirrors, and I insert often mirrors in my Vanitas photos, so you can see in your book, for example. And I really like mirrors because they allow me to suggest another dimension. So I think, for example, at the book Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, the
Hmm.
sequel of Alice in Wonderland, but it's not all. But that's one of the reasons I really like mirrors. And in this photograph, for especially, you can see on the right there is this strong, this beautiful light coming, and so you can see also some details of silver, because it was an antique mirror, and with real silver inside in the mirror, yes. And so I like this presence of silver, because there is a relationship for me between between the silver in antique mirrors and the silver in analog photography that I'm still using,
Yeah.
in the field. And another element you can see, that maybe not at once when you see at the photograph, but after. So that was my aim also. It's a hand, a human hand on the right, where the light is stronger. And I insert always in my Vanitas photos a human presence. That's because as humans, we are part of this ephemeral, this transitory nature of all things of life. So I don't want to explain exactly what this dimension is. So for me, I know, but I prefer not to explain exactly. Maybe it could be another dimension in the afterlife. Maybe it could be another dimension in parallel to our reality. But I prefer to let the viewer free to imagine, just to suggest the existence of another dimension.
Yeah, I love the element of the hand. I have to say that that caught my eye when I came into the gallery, and it evoked for me, seeing the hand and seeing the flowers, almost a feeling, certainly ethereal feeling, but also one of longing and a little bit of sadness for me. But very, very captivating, but and also very beautiful.
Thank you. Now, I remember it was your favorite. I remember when you came in the gallery. Yes, maybe because we are talking about Vanitas, so it's sad, sure, because it's about the passage of time. So when I started this series, I was really sad about it, when, as I said before, and then maybe I can say that photography helped me to understand it better and to represent this transitory nature of all things. And
Hmm.
so, for me, I can say that photography helped me to accept it and to celebrate it, to celebrate this impermanence. So thanks to the photo, I could understand and accept better. So for me, I can understand it could be maybe a little bit sad,
Yeah.
because we're sure that's the Vanitas series, but it's not my aim to. That's why I talk also about this other dimension. So maybe it's to
Right.
open, because okay, you have the sad. reality, so the passage of time. So you can accept it or not, but it's our reality of our of all living beings, so human being. But after, I suggest that it exists another dimension. So that's maybe a more positive way to live
Right.
with.
Well, that's beautiful. And that's a beautiful way to end in terms of the summary of the photograph. I'll ask one more question, which may be a stupid question, but what does vanitas mean? Does it mean vanity in French? And by the
Uh,
way, are you from France or are you from Italy? I think our viewers would want to know that.
allora, I'm Italian, so I'm from Italy, from Milan.
Yeah.
And but now I live in Paris, so I've been living in Paris for years now. And actually, I was born in Paris, but when I was, but my parents are Italian. Sorry, so maybe I was when I was just 1 year old, I came back to Italy, so that's why maybe I'm living here.
Got it.
I really like Paris, and so yes, Vanitas is a quote from the Bible. It's so about the vanity of all things.
Got
So
it.
it's to remind viewers, in that case for paintings, about the transitory and ephemeral nature of all things.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you again for spending your part of your Saturday morning with us. I hope that you are enjoying the rest of your weekend, and thank you for coming to us from Paris, a place that I have to say I miss terribly and have been thinking about through this lockdown. So thank you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.